Yesterday I had a brilliant day. I did a very odd thing for this strange time. I went to, well, this bit's not odd. I went to Fleetwood Fabrics to I just needed a quarter of a metre of a certain fabric, but I wanted it in a strip. I didn't want a fat quarter because I've got some strips to make with it. And while I was there, I got some quilting needles and this, that and the other, and some more overlocking thread. Anyway, we were chatting at the counter. Someone else had come in and they were saying, oh, you can't think properly these days, can you? And I said, you just feel like you've kind of, it's a bit out of body experience actually being one-to-one, being served, and not easy just to gather your thoughts and even process putting your card on the thing. It's all a bit much. And we were just having a laugh about being a bit disorientated from staying in all the time and then going out. It's a bit strange. Anyway, I went to get back in the car and there was a tram. The shop is on the main street in Fleetwood and the trams come down the street. And I'd gauged very well that I could get into the car while the tram was there. It just stopped because there was a bin lorry, refuse collector, I can't say, as my grandson would say, a garbage truck. We're not in America, it's a refuse collection truck. It's a bin lorry. Anyway, there was a bin lorry in the way, so the tram was waiting. So the gap I went through to open my door and get in the car, I thought, yes, that's manageable. And it was manageable. So I got myself in the car and then I was holding my keys. And that's when I realised I'd driven myself there instead of being taken. And I got in the passenger seat. So I got out of the car. I squeezed myself back out of the car. And I just went and opened the door of the shop and said, you know when we were saying about being a bit confused? Well, I've just got myself into the wrong side of the car to drive home. Anyway, we had a bit of a laugh and I got back in the car in the proper manner at the driver's seat, and I drove myself to Cleveley's then because there was something I was going to do. What was I going to do? I can't remember what I was going to do. I'll have a think. That can go on edit. Anyway, I was assessing whether it was safe to go. Oh, I knew what I wanted. I needed to get some printer cartridges for Alan's printing out some of his pictures. So I needed to get some printer cartridges, and my best place was going to be Wilko's. I still call it Wilkinson's, but anyway, Wilko's or Smith's. So I was assessing whether it was very busy in Cleveley's, and it turned out to be not very busy at all. So, and everyone that was around was wearing masks, face coverings, so that was fine. So I managed to get a few bits I needed from Home Bargains and the printer cartridge from Wilko's. I even had a little walk round through M&Co. Fabric, everything's fabric. The dress shop. I had a look through there and it was just really kind of nice, just pottering and doing a bit of window shopping, so to speak, but yes, I can't think what it's called, roaming around shops, just casually, gimbally. It was very strange. I really quite enjoyed it. It felt really quite relaxing and there was hardly anyone there really. And I got some slippers for Alan, which he wanted, not from there. Yeah, it just kind of took my time. In fact, when I arrived home, I had to say, remember me? So I came in and divested myself of my parcels, had some lunch, and then off again I went to the garden centre. Our garden has been the garden of neglect and loneliness. Shocking. I've been so obsessed with being in the sewing room that it's just got a nightmare. Alan's done loads of jobs inside. He's done lots of repairing and lots of changing over of things during lockdown. And he's been putting up some shelves and sorting out some storage and doing all sorts of decluttering things from stuff we've had for years and have brought from one house to another and not gone through. He's been doing all sorts of those things. I've been sewing or planning sewing or videoing, and I just wanted to make the garden look a bit nice, because now we're not doing a family Christmas. We can't go to Buckinghamshire because it's in tier 4. We can't not stay overnight. If we went, we had planned to do something in the 5-day gap that we were kind of allowed in relaxing travel restrictions, etc., which we now can't do. So we will be at home for Christmas. And I thought some of the things I wanted to have made, they're really on track. Had a good day sewing on Sunday. This, I believe, is Tuesday. And so I ended up not really sewing anything yesterday. When I came back, I washed and ironed the little pieces of fabric that I'd got that I'd needed to get. And yes, so today, this morning, I have just made a nice, tidy, clean space for seeing a client this morning, and it was such a mess that I've time-lapsed it, showing the mess this room gets into, this area gets into, because in order to make plenty of room in my sewing room, I have to move a lot of stuff out of there that needs sorting or sewing or doing things with, that comes in here. Then just general laundry things come in here on the way upstairs, and Harper cardigans get put on the back of chairs and just general messiness. So I sorted all that out before I started work today. Had a very pleasant morning, getting back to doing some work today. And my work is my passion, so it's not really work. And so there's that to do, and then I'm going to have some lunch, and I'm going to put the plants in the garden. I did a bit of dragging about moving some weeds yesterday when I did come back. It started raining, of course, as it would do. We are in Lancashire. It appears not to be raining at the moment, and we've had quite a bright morning so far. So I look forward to maybe seeing you later. I may get on with editing days 13 to 22 later, or not. So I'll be seeing you later to sign off, possibly. But I may have dirty fingernails and be a bit more grubby. Nice to speak to you, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye for now. Quite moved. His local Salvation Army band have come to play. So it's just raining and I've not really got a coat on. I'm just taking a video for you because this is beautiful. We used to regularly go, but unfortunately his wife has now got quite severe dementia and they can't get out, and he's got quite a lot of physical difficulties. This is just so moving. Grandma used to love the Salvation Army band in Bury. It's got me quite emotional. Sorry. Okay, it's only a few days ago that I took a video of this little front bed in the garden, and I called it the Garden of Neglect and Loneliness, because actually that is what it had become. So I went to the garden centre on Monday, I think, and did I did quite a lot of back-breaking, shifting and pulling out of weeds, and then planted a few things. So now it's ready for spring. I was absolutely ashamed of it, but sewing was my priority, and sewing had to stay my priority in case my enthusiasm waned, which I talk about really in about Vlogmas number 5 or something like that, or 9. Anyway, I'm really pleased that I've managed to just tidy it up. It's not perfect, I don't need it to be perfect. I just wanted I wanted to get some control back over it, and I've used the bag of grit that I had, a bag and a half of grit left. So there's the rest of the garden to do, which I'm not showing you, but this feels nice to start Christmas with anyway. We're ready for when the spring plants come in and some of the bulbs come up. In the back garden, I'm absolutely amazed to find that there are some fuchsia in flower that are never in flower at this time. Okay, I'll sign off for now. It is actually Christmas Eve, the day of Christmas Eve, and there's also already been a band from the Salvation Army playing carols, so I'm going to put this together with that, because it was so moving. I actually couldn't contain myself. It was so absolutely moving that they would come and do that for 2 elderly relatives who are the majors in the Salvation Army, but I've not been able to attend for quite some time. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, bye. And goodbye from the seagulls at Blackpool. Hi, it's Christmas Eve, and no, I'm not at the Arctic. I am just having a wander around. There are a couple of places that I'd spotted that had decorations up, and I just wanted to film them for the boys and just pop them on here for you, and then that'll be me for this Vlogmas day, and all being well, I'll see you tomorrow, when I might even have some makeup on. Okay, happy Christmas Eve. Well, our brightest light round here is the moon tonight, so I'll just make my way around and see if I can see any other lights. Ah, that's genius. I think they've got someone coming to stay. Must be keeping them separate, and they've come in the motor caravan. But they've put all lights on it since this afternoon, and I passed it earlier. Oh wow. That's pretty too. My fingers are burning with cold now. But never mind. Oh, nice hot chocolate. It's very nice. The van just turned well, it drew my attention to it, but actually slipping with my quite splendid icicles. This is kind of the land of AstroTurf. Lots of people on this estate have a green thumb company who come and replace their lawns. They don't only do that, but replace their lawns with easy care plastic lawning. And yeah. Oh, that's quite pretty. It's got like a cascade of balloons. Now this will come up. It's very strange. Must be some kind of projection inside. In from it. There you are, like hoops. Hoops upside your head. I said hoops upside your head. Twinkly and then a bit bonkers upstairs. Ooh. Probably don't get the impact of this, but it is quite sweet. Well, they've got one of those projectors that puts all the twinkly bits on the bill. Where not everyone can just get out, can they? So I just thought I'd just see what little bits of twinkly things are around for those of you who can't. Now this time it's not Blackpool illuminations, but it is a little festive setup. Obviously, because I've not got any proper lighting, or whatever you call it, I'm just relying on my phone, and it's just getting a bit flooded out, but let's have a look. Wow, we've got a lamppost. We've got a snowy. We used to have one of those. We've got a climbing Santa, jumping up and down. Got a Santa on the drain pipe. Now we've got icicles. And Santa's juggling there. It's not easy to see that. Oh, there's a little seesaw. So we've got. Oh, must have a. There's a Santa on a sleigh. Must have a sensory thing, so as I come up. I've got Santa. And two do. season's greetings to everyone. It's been one hell of a year, this 2020. Let's hope we have a much better 2021. Ho ho ho. Very festive. Look at those. Beautiful light.